Oh, it tastes weird. What's up? What's up, Brett? I'm drinking some LaCroix. I thought it was lemon flavor, but it's actually coconut. You know when you taste something and you think it's going to be something else, and then you taste it and you're like, "What is this?" Pretty disgusting, but I was thirsty. You got the wrong one. Oh, that's awful. Anyways, what's happening, everyone? What's up, nerd? Philip, Jack, Carlos, Larry. Hi, not too high from New Mexico. There you go. Sorry, I'm really dark right here. See if I can light myself up. So I'm on a. I'm good, Luke. I'm on a new diet as of today. Let's see if I. Oh no, that's bad. Oh, that's too much. Okay, I can't do that. I started a diet today, like a keto diet. Yeah, I mean, I kind of tried to start it a couple weeks ago, and then I had to stop, and then I'm back on it now, and I really need to. I need to lose a good 30 pounds. I was doing this video with Rhett. I know it's kind of dark here. Sorry. So Rhett came over and Rhett made a video for me or with me yesterday. I'm not going to put it out tomorrow. I'm going to put it out this weekend or something, but I have to film the very end of it. I have my piece of hair sticking up like this, and Rhett wasn't paying attention. I don't know how it was sticking up. It was like this for the whole thing. It's kind of hilarious. I look like alfalfa. But I noticed he went back and forth. He had some clips from some of my videos, and he went from my Apple video to my new video to yesterday. And I've got to be 50 days that I'm going to do this cleanse right now that I'm on, or whatever, keto diet, whatever it is, low carb diet. And my goal is to lose 30 pounds in 35 days. So nobody's going to know who alfalfa is, right? What's up, Peter? But I noticed that in here and everything, I look horrible in the video, but it'll be fun. It's funny. I mean, I can notice the Apple video was probably 6 months ago. I easily have gained. I had to have gained 15 pounds since then. It looks like, and it's all in my face. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. What's up, Brett? We'll see what happens with this. That's the. Oh, man, it's tough. It's hard. It's hard to get energy when you're on these diets like this, especially the first 3 days. I've been drinking lots of water. The reason I drank that LaCroix is, here's the thing. So I did this diet, I did this cleanse 8 years ago when my daughter Lennon, before she was born. And I went from 188 to 148 pounds in 5 weeks, and I kept the weight off for a year. And I kept the weight off by eating no carbs, but no carbs, no breads. Okay, which is tough. I love pasta. I love bread. I love it. I'm Italian. Peter knows. I kept the weight off for an entire year. Didn't gain any weight at all. I went from a 36 waist to a 29 waist in 5 weeks. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. I felt great too. Abruzzi, that's right. Peter. I love pasta. I mean, how do you not eat bread? You know? How do you not eat pasta? If it can't be maintained, then it won't be maintained. Body knowledge said it right there. So that's my deal. So that's what I'm trying to do now. So today's day 1. Um, and I'm feeling a little bit. It's going to be tough. 2 days from now, you're going to see me, and I'm going to be going nuts. I'll be really feeling ill. But 5 days from now, I'll have incredible energy. If I can just get past the first few days, uh, and I am exercising too. If I can get past the first few days, um, then I'm golden. Did I get the keto flu? I always get that when I go no carbs. I've done this diet. I've done it probably 4 times in the last 8 years. And and the positive side is that all my inflammation goes away in the first day. Um, the third and fourth day, typically I feel ill. I feel under the weather. I usually congested or something like that. And everybody that's done this knows that. Um, so by me telling you this, it is forcing me to do something about it, because my wife is always makes fun of me because I abandon these things. And and you know, I just got to do it. I have to do it. Sleep is great with no carbs, Peter. That is for sure. Um, it's interesting though, because I just ate some cheese before I ate some mozzarella before I came on. That's why when I was drinking that thing, I just ate some. I was just like, oh, this coconut and mozzarella do not go. they do not. They do not go together. I mean, it's a horrible combination. I got to take another drink of this though. I wish I'd picked another one up, but I also have some macadamia nuts to taste. It just got some weird thing. I don't know. It's not diet soda. No, it's just, the LaCroix is this kind of flavored soda. So anyways, that's the deal. I just got to get rid of this. I gotta get healthy. I gotta lose weight. It's embarrassing to be on camera though, and to see, Rhett kind of did a historical. He did like a little mini documentary about my channel, and to see me in the last 2 years, you can see this weight gain, and it definitely happened in the last few months. So, but I will lose it, no problem, no problem. I will do it. My parents used to make homemade pasta all the time. My dad would make it on the weekends, and oh man, it was. I mean, he made the homemade pasta. They made the homemade sauce, everything, homemade bread. Come on, right? And I always this is really funny. People always laugh when I tell this story. So I have 6 siblings, right? Family of 7, so 9 people in the house. And every day growing up, my mom baked a cake before she went to work. Okay. My mom baked a cake, and we ate a cake every day. I mean, she would make make a sheet cake with frosting on it or whatever, but it'd be gone. 7 people, nine people. It's easy. But every day my mom baked a cake. How great is that? And then she went to work in the can factory, the American Can Company, for 8 hours. She worked the evening shift. So she worked from 4:30 to 12:30 p.m. And after my dad retired, he'd go pick her up at 12:30 and bring her home. And then my mom would eat dinner at 1 a.m. She'd eat dinner, and then she would get up with us when we went to school. It's insane. So we'd be going to bed and stuff, and my mom, I'd smell pasta cooking, whatever, at 1 o'clock in the morning. My dad would be cooking. My dad would sleep. My dad would get home at 5, and he'd make dinner, My mom would usually make dinner a lot of times before she went to work. She'd bake a cake and make dinner for us. And then eventually my dad would make dinner when he learned how to cook, but he was a terrible cook for a couple years. It was awful. Then he became a good cook. But my mom would go to work. We'd eat dinner with my dad. I mean, when we were really small, my mom didn't work. She started working when I was in geez. I think she started working when I was in kindergarten because I walked her to work her first day, and she worked until let's see. She worked until I was in grad school, out of grad school. So long time. So anyways, so we would eat. My dad would crash out after dinner, usually watching TV or whatever, and he'd sleep for and then he would wake up to go pick up my mom. It's unbelievable. My mom drove and everything, but my dad would go pick her up. But when my mom first started working at the American Can Company, it was 1 block away, but my mom would walk home at 12:30 at night at first. Because there'd be people getting out of the shift. I mean, there was, hundreds and hundreds of people that worked there. They'd get out of a shift at this huge factory. I'm telling you, it was 1 block away. It was half a mile long, the plant. And deafeningly loud. We would never notice it. We just grew up with that. So, there you go. It was, I can't believe the stuff. People complain nowadays about the things you have to do. My mom's cooking for 7 kids, bakes a cake every day, goes and works 12 hours or 8 hours at a factory, comes home, eats dinner at 1 in the morning, goes to bed at 2:30, gets up at 7 o'clock, I mean, whatever, 6:30 in the morning. It's unbelievable. My dad would get up and go to work after he was picked up my mom. He'd go back to bed. It was amazing. The absolute best. Tough as nails. That's right, Eric. That is right. Tough as nails. That's it. That work ethic. That's the thing that can't. I think, honestly, this stuff is just taught by example. I think there's a huge part of this that is just, it's literally taught by example. Oh, there, I just brighten this up and you can see me better. Depression era ethics. That's right. That's what it is. It is really Depression era ethics. I was talking with a buddy of mine whose dad is my friend Pat, that's a year younger than me, and his dad fought in World War II. His dad's still alive. And there's a big difference between his dad that's 85 and between people that are 70 years old that did not go to World War II. A big difference. The people that lived through the Depression, like my parents, that never left them. It never, ever, ever left them. My dad never had any debt, never charged. If he charged something on a credit card, he paid it off, never paid 1 cent in interest ever. If he got overpaid at the grocery store by 20 cents, he'd go back up there and tell him, "Hey, you overpaid me," and he'd give him the money back. Oh my God, my dad was the most honest human being in the world. They were tough. Never said anything. When my dad quit smoking, never said a word. He quit smoking. He smoked for 50 years. Didn't say, "I quit smoking. Oh, it's so hard." 6 months went by and none of us noticed. And then one was saying, "Wait a minute, Dad, did you stop smoking?" "Yeah, I quit 6 months ago." And he had an empty pack or half pack of Camels on the top of the fridge. And at the end of a year, he crumpled them up and threw them away. Maybe it was Lucky Strikes. He only smoked Camels and Lucky Strikes. And they did collect the tobacco stamps, Ron. Yes. What's up, Daniel? But never said a word about smoking. Never complained about anything, ever. Nothing. Nothing. So, man, not a whiner. Never. Oh, man. And in whining, my parents would never put up with that. Never put up with that, man. So it was definitely a generational thing. You know, I'm very fortunate in having parents that were 2 generations older than me. My dad was 43 when I was born. My mom was what, 37, and I have a younger brother too. And having parents that are 2 generations older than you is a you know, was actually great, honestly. I remember S&H green stamps, Steve. Of course I do. Of course. I used to glue them in the books for my parents. I love doing that. And I'm 2 generations older than my kids. You know, I had, let's see, Layla when I was 51, Dylan when I was 45, 46, 45, is that right? 46, 45. Dylan's 10. I'm 56. Well, he'll be 11 this summer. So yeah. And then Lennon when I was 2 years later. So I'm 2 generations older than my kids. So um, my kids have the, I would say, just like I do, the, I have the experience of someone that whose parents grew up in the Depression. I think I'm, you know, because I know people whose parents, I know people that are like, like my friend Peter Smart. His dad was, I want to say his dad was born in 1919 also, and Peter's 80, going to be 88. You know, so I know people that are in their 70s, 70, you know, my dad would have been 99. I know people that are 70 years old that, um, whose, whose parents were born. Um, your kids have a father that is influenced 4 generations ago. Double K. That's right. Brian, you had your first kid at 37. I'm telling you, history, burn, burn the lamb. I don't know you. You're new, and you're right. History is super important. Um, it gives you perspective, like Eric says. Um, Audrey, you got your graduation present. There you go. Um, let's see. Did I know my grandparents well? Yes, Joel. I knew. Well, I didn't know my grandpa Beato. He died in 1955. My dad's dad. He was 74 then. He was born in 1891. My dad's dad. Um, I didn't know him, but I knew all my other grandparents. My grandpa Domino, my mom's dad, was born in 1899. He died in 1977. I knew him very well. And my dad's mom, my grandma Beato, she was born 1896. She died in 1976. My mom's mom, Grandma Domino, died in 1997. She was 90. She was in her 90s when she died. Did he ever have a cavity? Oh, plenty of cavities. The no cavities were on my mom's side, Aunt Fran. Rhett, what are we talking about? We're talking about having parents that are a generation, 2 generations older than you. Oh, Rhett's dad, as I found out yesterday, I mean, I know Rhett's dad well, but his dad is a year younger than me. He graduated in 1981 from high school. And I don't think of Rhett's dad as being younger than me, but he is younger than me. And it's really strange because, I mean, I routinely deal with people. I mean, I was the oldest dad at the school that my kids went to. And I mean, I don't care or anything, but it's no, I like it actually. I think it's kind of cool. Even though somebody said something in IKEA a couple weeks ago, we went to IKEA and somebody said, um, no, we were in Target, Layla and I was wheeling her in the cart. Somebody said, "Oh, that's so nice that you're out with your granddaughter." Oh, jeez. Uh, so I didn't say anything. I'm out with my granddaughter. You know, what are you going to say? Hey, it's not my granddaughter. That's cold. Well, when I had my black beard and I was at IKEA, somebody said, some guy was with his wife, and I hear him quietly. He said, "Get out of the way. The mountain man's trying to get through." Mountain man. Drop into 100 push-ups. Yeah, I know. I would do 100 push-ups and then drop, Eric. How would my life be different? Yusef asks if my parents didn't move from Italy. Well, my grandparents came from Italy. Um, and my grandparents came long before Mussolini. They all came at the early part of the 20th century. My mom's dad came in 1912, came here. He was 13 years old. And then all my grandparents came around the same time, near the turn of the century, 1910, 1912, something like that. So long before Mussolini. And what do they think about fascists? They didn't like, my mom worked at a place called Rochester Products during World War II, where they changed from making automotive parts for General Motors to making airplane engines. And my mom worked on airplane carburetors during the war, during World War II. My dad was working for the railroad. My dad didn't go. He had 12 surgeries on his legs when he was a child. He had this infection that he never got rid of called osteomyelitis. He had these whole life, and one of his legs was 2 inches shorter than the other. He always kind of walked with an odd gait because of that. But my dad's brother, my godfather, my uncle Jim, was in Patton's army, and was I think he was in Patton's army. He was in the D-Day invasion. He was on the beaches in Normandy. All my Uncle Bill that's still living, he was in the South Pacific. My dad's brother Dave was in fought in Europe. My Uncle Frank, my dad's brother, fought in Europe. My Uncle Tony, my mom's uncle, he got shot in Italy, shot through the shoulder during World War II. I mean, they all fought in the war. Anyways, so there you go. It was Mike Patton. Nice. That's a pretty good one. Body knowledge. That's I like that. He fought in he was in Mike Patton's division. Ben Franklin, was it really? I believe you. First cousin 8 times removed. That's awesome. Who's Mike Patton? Mike Patton is a singer from Faith No More. Brett does need to be on Sounding Off. I'd love to have Brett on Sounding Off. Anyways, music question. In Nari's video today, she talked about Aeolian flat 5 scale. In the book, use local and natural 9. Is there a difference? Could you hear them differently? I didn't watch Nari's video today. I watched the beginning of it. I started watching her video on Eric Satie. I started watching it, so I'll look at it and see what she's saying. Steve, you're on vacation in Fort Myers. There you go. Drove by Rochester Jazz Jackal. Jazz Jackie? Is that what it is? Can't even read here with no glasses. Love the place. Saw Oscar Peterson in a bar. Turned like a carousel. Check out Tim Miller guitar in Boston. Holdsworthian. Cool. Laurel. Oh, how many of you went through the Laurel Yanni thing yesterday? Yanni. Dylan was the only one who got it right. He instantly said it yesterday, right? Rhett was filming him. Rhett was the one said, let's see what Dylan says when he gets home. Dylan's like, I hear two. He instantly said it. I hear both of them. One's up really high. The Yanni one is up really high. Of course, right? Of course. But, it's funny. I went upstairs. Layla, same thing. Well, all three of them heard that. And I was shocked. When I played it for Layla first, because the other kids hadn't come home, Layla said, Layla says, I hear Jerry. I was like, Jerry, really? And she heard four voices. That's right, Thomas. It was fascinating though. That's like a you Jazzy Jackie. Yeah, you hate Yanni, and Hardy was better than Laurel. Brett, you heard Jerry. You and Layla heard Jerry, but that's the first thing. And with Lennon, when I got closer to her ear, she goes, let me hear it up close. And I got closer here. She says, I hear Laurel up here. Then I walked away. And she said, I hear Yanni or whatever. You heard Yorl. Oh, brother. I only listened to it from up close when I heard it I saw it on Twitter, but it was weird. It was like a 1-day thing. Really. Peter, Yanni, right. It was like a one. It's weird when you have these memes. And how many of you saw, not many people watched my Sting video today. I saw that thing come across, the Sting record come across my Instagram or my I saw it on Spotify. And I said, oh God, this is going to be cringeworthy. What is this going to be like? And oh man, it was awful. It was really, really awful. I was a little hard on him. I know, Ron, but come on. What, how do you hear autotune? Thomas asks. It's when you use autotune a lot. I've used autotune plenty. I've used it. There's people that there's people I've worked with that love autotune. They just love it. I mean, come on. He's a 67-year-old guy who was born in 1951. You can't. I mean, yeah, you can go out and play these songs, but it's like, why go out and do this, a record like that? It just hurts just go out and play your tunes that you wrote years ago. It just, this is part of your historical record when you do these things. It is. It's, very few people give up the right time. I got to say this, the Beatles, did it right. Hurt your legacy. Exactly, Brett. That's right. The Beatles did it right. They never, ever played together again. I mean, really, it's amazing. It's interesting. The Rolling Stones, did they hurt their legacy? They never broke up. They never broke up. Double K, I did a video today where was Sting. You too can't see they need to shut it down. About 10 years ago. I love you too. I love the band, and I don't listen to them anymore. They're amazing. And Bono can still sing. AC/DC, same. I mean, all these bands. It's not the same if you're a, if you're a composer or something. I mean, there's people that have something to say, but there's something different about singing too. Um, Sting has had an incredibly high voice. And without that, he, you know, he just doesn't have any tone anymore. He just doesn't. Um, Gary says Roger Waters is still producing great work. See, I think Roger Waters can't sing at all anymore because when he was trying to do any of the Pink Floyd stuff, he just can't produce a pitch anymore. So all the guys in Styx still sing great, Aaron. They're probably because there's no original people in it. It's like a cover band with probably Tommy Shaw is still in it. Yeah, Roger was never. I know Roger was never a great singer, but he was a good. I mean, these guys are great writers. I mean, look. Well, some people, a lot of people hate Bob Dylan's voice. I love Bob Dylan's voice. Some people hate Mick Jagger's voice. I don't know how. Mick Jagger was an amazing singer. Bowie's voice was great. Until the end. Bowie had an incredible voice. Incredible voice. Toto still sounds good to Russ, but Russ, they don't, has a polarizing voice. Steve, you're right. I love Neil Young's voice. I always loved singers that were really off the beaten track. I think that singers, this is interesting. Steve just said that Robert Plant's voice has mellowed nicely. And Brett says some guys learn how to sing in a lower register. Getty sounds great in a low register, but can't come close to the high stuff. Okay, this is interesting. Certain people, certain singers realize from touring that they can't keep doing what they're doing. And I'll give you an example. Bono. When Bono hit the Joshua Tree record, okay, that was 6 records in. He started singing in his low register and he developed a beautiful low register and he developed a great falsetto. If you think of With or Without You, he's singing in that low range because at that time he had been done all the stuff on War, all the stuff on October, all the stuff on Boy, all these tunes, all the stuff on Unforgettable Fire, these really high, really super high songs. And he realized that there was there wasn't going to be a future in this because all their big songs were, all their big songs had really high vocals and he added years to his career because of that. Getty did the same thing. I mean, they learned to sing in these lower ranges. Some people can genetically hit these things though. Steven Tyler can do it. Who else? Plant developed his low register. Elton John, can Elton John really sing, hit those, he can't hit any of those notes anymore, so, yeah, it's older singers hit the same notes, but usually an octave lower. I haven't heard Daryl Hall sing in a few years. Last time I heard him sing, I don't watch his thing that or I haven't seen it since I don't know 2011. I haven't heard him sing anything, but he still sounded great. Paul Rogers can still sing. I mean, some people just have it, you know. I still can't sing. I uh I never professed to be a singer. Anyway, so oh, that's disgusting. Oh man, no more of that. So, anyways, um, Billy Joel's a terrible person. Watch the Hired Gun documentary. What's up, Andrea? We are live. Yes. Ella's voice changed. Yeah. Um. Um. Saw Tears for Fears a few months ago in Vegas. Felt bad for Roland Orzabal. He was struggling to sing their old songs. He had some high songs. He was a great singer. Um. Um. Yeah, it's the Foreigner singer Lou Gramm from my hometown, Louis Grammatico from Rochester, New York. I have a good speaking voice. Thanks, Double K. Appreciate that. Um, Live from Daryl's House is a good show. I haven't seen that in years. Last time I watched it, my sister told me I should watch the one with Todd Rundgren on it. She was really impressed with his singing in it. And I listened to a Utopia song last week. You know the song Road to Utopia? I love the beginning of that song. I love the beginning of that. But then the verse and chorus of that are just kind of corny. I used to think it was cool, but when I listened to it the other day, I was just thinking, man, I do not like this. Um, I like it. I like the held chords at the end of the chorus, though. So part of it is great of that track. Um, Anyways, all right, I'm gonna go here because I got to put the ending on my video right now. I got to film it before I get tired. Man, this video Rhett made of me is really you're gonna be bugged by my piece of hair sticking up, but I'm gonna have to put. I got to film the disclaimer in it. I can't believe Rhett didn't say something about it. Like, hey man, you got to fix your hair. You'll see it. Hopefully, you can ignore it and watch what I'm saying or listen to what I'm saying. Cowlick Rick. I know. It's like, where's Carol? Carol's away in Boston this week, so it's been very. In the Hammond video, I got to put the end on it, Pat. I put it all. It's all ready to go. I don't have the part from in the control room that I have in because my assistant Ken took the tracks with him. So I'm waiting for him to bring them back. So I can't play what we recorded. Anyways, all right. You guys are great. Thank you. Have a great, great night. I'll see you. Thanks, Peter.